Hello again. So what we are looking at today is lesson 5. Yes, we did skip lesson 4. Don't worry, you didn't miss a video. We did skip lesson 4. So lesson 5, what we're looking at is reasoning about square roots. So more square roots. We're dealing a lot with square roots in this. So our keyword is square roots. So keep that in mind as we go about this. So first and foremost, we are looking at what two whole numbers does each square root lie between, and explaining. So if we look, we have the square root of 7. Between what two numbers does the square root of 7 lie? Well, if we think about this, it should be between 2 and 3. Reason being, 2 squared is 4, and 3 squared is 9, and so 7 is between 2 and 3. Sorry, root 7. Whoops! So root 7 is then between 2 and 3. So we have to think about the perfect squares on either side of our number when we're taking our square root. So same thing, square root of 23. Between which two numbers should the square root of 23 lie? Well, think about the two closest perfect squares to 23, 25 and 16. Those two numbers then would be 4 and 5. 4 squared equals 16 and 5 squared equals 25. So therefore it's going to be between 4 and 5 for the square root of 23. Alright, the square root of 50. Think about our two closest perfect squares to 50. We've got 49 and 64. So that means 7 and 8. Since 7 squared is 49 and 8 squared is 64. And 50 lies in between those two values. Lies very close to our 7, so it's going to be 7 point, a very small number, probably 7.1. Alright, and the square root of 98. If we think about this, what are the two closest perfect squares to 98? You should be thinking of 81 and 100, which means 9 and 10. 9 squared is 81, and 10 squared is 100. So a good portion of your assignment is going to be taking and looking at what two numbers does the square root lie between. So being able to figure out what it's close to. This will help when you have to take and evaluate square roots. You can get fairly close in knowing approximately where these square roots are by knowing your perfect squares. Once again, square root is your key word for today. Square roots. There is an S on the end. Make sure you have it. Yes, I'm going to be that particular. Okay, our next set is looking at, whoops, might help if you could actually see my thing. The next part is we are looking at a number line. So the numbers x, y, and z are positive, and x squared equals 3, y squared equals 16, and z squared equals 30. What you're going to take and do, or I should say what we're going to do, is we're going to plot x, y, and z on the number line, which means we have to figure out what the square root of each of these things is. So what's the square root of 3? Well, what two numbers should it lie between? Perfect square of 1 is 1. 2 squared is 4, so it should lie somewhere between 1 and 2. So on our number line, square root of 3. Alright, for the y squared equals 16, square root of 16 is 4. So we've got 4 right here, so this is our square root of 16. So there's our y. And then the last one, the square root of 30. Well, let's think of our perfect squares. We know 25 is 5 and 36 is 6, so it should be between 5 and 6. This is our square root of 30. Alright, our last part is we're going to plot negative square root of 2 on the number line. So we know 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, so our number is going to, our square root of negative 2, or negative square root of 2 is going to lie between negative 2 and the negative 1. So there we go. So being able to graph these, it's all about figuring out what two numbers it is between when we're doing these things. So knowing your perfect squares. So once again, your key word is square roots with an S on the end. Make sure you know what they are. You're looking at finding the values in between. So looking at those relationships to figure out what's closest to the number of the square root you're given. So solving those out. Once again, with homework assignments, make sure you circle your answers or make it obvious what they are. If you are stuck or have questions, office hours are always available. You can email me, message me, whatever works easiest for you, and I will try to help you best I can. These practice problems will be a PDF that will be shared with you, so you'll be able to take and look at those to do your practice problems. Remember to share. And don't forget, your key word for this lesson is square roots with an S on the end. So make sure to submit that for some points. All right. Happy days.